Welcome back to One-on-One Sports. Sitting next to me is our hockey expert, Andy Harris. Well, Andy, it feels like eons since the Penguins won Game 7 in Detroit, but finally hockey is back. Like always, the offseason was full of trades and free agent acquisitions as every team looked to improve. Which team do you think did the best job improving their roster this offseason?
A few teams really jump out at me, and the first one is my hometown Philadelphia Flyers. You can call me Homer if you want, but we had a big offseason. Trading for defenseman Chris Pronger, one of the best defensive players in the game. He may be up there in age, and you can make the case we gave up too much with 2 first-round picks and some prospects. However, he makes the Flyers immensely better on defense, and that was their weakest point last season. We also signed Ray Emery, who is probably the most...
A question mark.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes, but his upside's too good to not at least consider this move a success.
Well,
We're
folks,
going forward.
You can see Andy's orange pride seeping through his hair right now, as you can tell on set. But, Chris Pronger, very solid pickup. He's one of the best defensemen hockey has ever seen. He's the enforcer. The Flyers missed out on Jay Baumeister, the offensive defenseman, but Chris Pronger definitely going to fill a void for them.
Mm-hmm. I also like the New York Rangers. They signed Marian Gaborik this offseason, and they had an anemic offense last year. They scored the second fewest goals in the Eastern Conference. They needed offense. They were still a playoff team. Their defense and goaltending was fantastic last year, and that's what carried them to the postseason. By signing Gaborik, who had 42 goals in his last full season, which was 2007, he was hurt last year, they finally have an elite scorer. Finally, they have somebody who can put the puck in the net and give them some offense.
I'm going to cut you off right here. I think the Minnesota Wild had the best offseason, which is Marian the Barbarian Gaborik came from, because they didn't sign him. He played 17 games last year. He's injury-prone. He got a 5-year, $37.5 million contract. I think the Wild did a good job of replacing him with Martin Havlat from the Chicago Blackhawks. They got, some fill-in players, and I think they did a really good job improving their roster and preparing to make a postseason run because they have the backstop in Nicholas Backstrom, so see where that goes. However, on the flip side of the best offseason, some teams did not really improve their roster. Which team do you think had the worst offseason?
The team that lost in the Stanley Cup Finals, the Detroit Red Wings. Losing Marian Hossa, and granted he would have been out for half the season anyway because he's injured, and they let go Jerry Hudler and Michael Samuelson. The three of them combined for 168 points last season. That's a lot of production to let go.
Losses,
That's a big loss. They still have a good team. They'll still make the postseason. Still have one of the best goaltenders in the game in Osgood. But that team isn't the force it was last season without Marian Hossa.
It's hard to reload again and again. The Red Wings have done a fabulous job this decade, but I agree with you. I think the run's going to end. However, even worse offseason, the Chicago Blackhawks. They signed Marian Hossa from the Red Wings, gave him a 12-year contract for $62.8 million, which is ludicrous. And how did he celebrate? He got injured, shoulder surgery. He will miss maybe half the year.
How old will he be when that contract expires? I'm curious. Do you have any idea?
It's going to be
like 50?
A very old Brett Favre age. We're talking,
yes.
Prehistoric. But, what is great about what the Red Wings' success is they kept reloading. And by signing a player like Hossa to such a big contract, they're not going to be able to sign the core of their team. Jonathan Toews, who has been an incredible young captain player for them, only 20 years old. And then Patrick Kane got in a little off-season trouble. He fought a cab driver over a 20-cent cab bill. He was on the cover of EA Sports NHL 10. He doesn't need the money.
I mean, exactly. But, yeah, the Blackhawks, I don't like the contract they gave to Hossa, but for this season, I still like the fact that they signed him. I know he's, again, like we've said, out for the first couple months, but the Blackhawks have proven they can make the playoffs without him. But I'm not sure they can make it through the postseason without him. If he's back and he's healthy, come June, come May, come June, he could put them over the top in a very, very tough Western Conference.
So if that's your pick in the West, who's then your pick in the Eastern Conference to make the Stanley Cup?
It pains me to say this, but the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Got it.
I picked them against them the last 2 years. If teams repeatedly beat me, I just, if you can't beat them, join them.
Yep, I have to agree. I think, the Penguins, they keep reloading. Marc-Andre Fleury behind the pipes, he's very solid goaltender, playoff proven. Sid the Kid Crosby is incredible. If he is not 3 times better than Gretzky, he is 4 times better than Gretzky. You heard it here. Evgeny Malkin, incredible in the postseason, scoring goals all over the place. And, they got Jordan Staal, they got Ryan Dupuis, they got their core back. I think the Penguins lead them into the postseason, and I think they'll do really well up into the Stanley Cup.
You thinking a repeat or no?
I think we're going to see the Penguins repeat. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for as we talk about Canada's favorite sport. But stay tuned to One-on-One Sports because we'll be shedding light on the young NFL season when we come back.